After starting as the VP of Marketing in 2016, our next guest, Udi Ledergor, became Gong's CMO last year. Based out of San Francisco, Gong's revenue intelligence platform captures customer interactions and delivers actionable insights at scale so that brands make decisions based on reality, not opinions. As a sales software company, Gong was positioned well for the rapid digital transformation of 2020, and today, Udi will share insights on Gong's messaging during this time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Udi Ledergor. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Gong. And today I'm here to share the social strategy that won Gong's raving fans over LinkedIn. So let's get started. Now, when we started back in the early days, we were thinking of what should be our content and social media strategy. And we searched Amazon and we found over 100,000 books on sales. But here's the thing. All of those books talk about people's opinion. It's someone who was a salesperson at a certain company, certain things worked for them, and then they wrote a book about what other people should do. We decided that we're going to be different. So Gong's social media strategy is the #1 source for data-backed sales tips on LinkedIn. So data-backed is our differentiation. This is what makes us different. Sales is where we do it. We're helping salespeople succeed by showing them what's actually working. And finally, LinkedIn is who we do it for. We do it for our audience on LinkedIn. That's where sales professionals live. That's where they're looking for their next job, their next lead, their next partner. And so that's where we're mostly active. Now, the strategy was sort of the easy part, right? We made a decision 4 years ago, and now it was time to execute it. And that is where, as they say, the devil is in the details. So today I'm going to show you a handful of examples out of hundreds that we scoured through to build this presentation. And I will show you how we use our social media, and especially LinkedIn, which is where our B2B audience lives, to grab the attention of our audience, to create engagement, to drive traffic to our website, which ultimately builds our CRM and opportunities, to create revenue pipeline, and to make many of our posts go viral. So let's get started. Here's an example of the type of post that we do to grab folks' attention on LinkedIn. Now, here are 2 tips for you. We found that 1, posting something from a corporate page that looks like a personal profile posted it will work much better. And it's very simple because people want to have a conversation with people, not with a logo, right? So post something that looks like a person actually wrote it and not some robot on a corporate profile. That'll work best. 2, and we've seen this work really well, if whatever social channel you're working on, if you post something that looks like it actually came from another social channel, I'll give you an example. If you post something on LinkedIn that looks like it should really belong on Instagram or on Twitter, you're going to grab more than your share of attention. Why? Because most LinkedIn posts, and that goes for any network, they all look the same. And so they're boring. So if you do something that looks like it almost doesn't belong on the social channel that you're posting, you're going to get your unfair share of attention. Here's a post that we posted just a couple of weeks ago. This was the first day of the quarter, and we took a screenshot from a video game. And we posted this on LinkedIn. I've never seen this done before. And you can see the text. It says, first day of the quarter, mood right now. And the screenshot says, oh shit, here we go again. This did really, really well. If you look at the engagement at the bottom of the screen, there's almost 700 reactions and 33 comments. Very few LinkedIn posts can get that sort of engagement, even on pages that have millions of followers. So that's 1 tip for you. Here's another tip on creating engagement. So you want to be human. And here's a way that we do this every day by talking to our followers. So in this case, we said something like, just want to touch base is the weakest opening ever. Don't use it. This is a commonly used phrase in sales emails. For those of you not in sales, I'm sure you're receiving these emails. For those of you who are in sales, you're probably sending these emails. Well, just don't. Stop. And by speaking to our followers in this very human way, we created a ton of engagement. Just look at this post. This is a corporate page on LinkedIn that got over 1,200, almost 1,300 reactions and almost 150 comments. You don't see that very often. So this human conversational tone really, really works. And here's one more variation. If you don't want to be human, you can be canine. So in this case, the funny story behind this post was that we wanted to test LinkedIn's new dwell factor in its algorithm. According to the LinkedIn developers, they incorporated a dwell factor that counts how long people are spending on your post, how long they're dwelling on your post. And the more time they dwell on your post, the more visible LinkedIn makes that post in other people's feed. So we came up with this cool idea to test this part of the algorithm by taking a classic Where's Waldo image and hiding our brand mascot, Bruno the Bulldog, in this image. You can play this back later and look for Bruno the Bulldog. I assure you he is in this image. And this actually got a ton of people talking about it, not only when we posted this on our corporate page, but when I also explained about the experiment from my own profile. This got over 1,000 reactions and hundreds of comments. So this is a really cool type of post. And as you can see, it also conforms to the rule I told you about earlier. It doesn't look like it belongs on LinkedIn. And that's exactly why people stop scrolling to take a look. Now, when I tell people about our social media strategy, I often get asked, so how do you drive people from this public domain social network to your own website and later convert them? So here's one way that we do this, okay? Here's an actual post that we posted about a month ago, and it's titled, "This might be the best sales tip of 2020." And there's a bit of hype that we're building around the tip. And then look at the bottom line. It says the link is in the comments. And so what happens here, when someone clicked the link in the comments, it took them to a landing page on our own website. And since we built the hype, or as I like to say, we sell the sizzle, not the steak, in the post, those landing pages see up to 80% conversion rate. Think about that. That's incredible. So our landing pages get anything from 50 to 80% conversion rate because everyone who gets there already wants to download what we're promising there. So that's what we did here. You can see that just by the number of reactions, there are almost 300 reactions. And I assure you, this post created thousands of signups and downloads on our website. And this is really the heart of how we convert traffic from social media to our own CRM. We post an article or a post, and that has a link to a premium download that takes folks to our website. So this is how it's done. Another important thing to remember is people don't like when brands talk about themselves. Just like when you go to a party, you don't want to stand next to the guy who's talking about himself the whole evening, right? He's not the most interesting guy at the party. Well, don't be that brand either. So talk about other people and uplift other people and tell the stories of other people's success. So here's one example where we put together a webinar, but rather than having it about Gong, we had it about outreach, we had it about Mark Roberge, we had it about our guests, and we made all of this about them. And guess what? A ton of people actually signed up and showed up. We regularly get a 4-digit number of signups and registrants and attendees at our webinars. And the way to do this is by making it about them. In the last 6 months, we've started doing virtual events at scale. So we did one in April, another one in July, and the most recent one was earlier this month in October. And we got thousands and thousands of people to register and actually show up because we made it about their success, how we're helping them succeed in this new economy, in these uncertain times, and we didn't make it about Gong. So always start with what your audience would want to learn about and take it back from there to what you can share and educate and entertain them on that would make them show up for it. All right, here's another example of how we actually create pipeline. So I already shared the principle with you a couple of slides ago, but here's another example of how this works in action. So on the left, you can see us promoting an article in the public domain on LinkedIn. And the title was, "This Surprising Cold Email CTA Will Help You Book a Lot More Meetings." Now, if you double click that, you go into the article, it's a few hundred words. It's data-backed sales tips on which email CTAs actually worked according to our research. And then within that public domain article, you would see a banner about 1/3 of the way down in the article, and once again at the very bottom of the article. If you click that banner, it would take you to the landing page that you see a part of it here on the right? So you can see the banner at the top, you can see the actual landing page, and that landing page converts you into a lead on our website. It converts you into a subscriber on our email list, so you continue getting these content tips later on. And now we can nurture you and eventually introduce you to Gong when we see you raise your hand and say that you're ready. So this is really the heart of how we take our social media traffic and why we work so hard to get more and more followers. We're now up to about 52,000 followers on our LinkedIn page, and I'll show you where they came from in just a minute. And this is how we convert them on our website to build a really clean, organic opt-in list. Okay, so how do we make some of these posts go viral? So I'll give you 2 tips. One, we use our own team. We have a team of about 400 Gongsters, which is how we refer to our own team members at Gong. And this is how it's done. This is an actual screenshot from a calendar invite that Jonathan from our content team sent out on the day that a certain announcement went out on social media. So we send out, you can see here, to 353 team members. We don't do this every day. We do this maybe every other week. We pick the most important announcements that we want the team members to share, and we get them to help. And this is how we do it. We tell them why it's important, what announcement we're going to make, and within the calendar invite or a separate email, we'll give them 2 versions of copy that they can use when they promote this on social media. Now, this helps them because most people are not really creative writers, and they're going to see this in the middle or at the start of their very busy day. So by giving them 2 templates of text they can actually post with, we'll see that about 95% of them will actually follow our lead and use that version of text. And a few of them will get clever and write their own text. But the idea here is don't make them think. Make it super easy for all of your team members to share the important company posts, and choose those posts that you're asking for help with sharing carefully so you don't overdo it. Here's one more example of how we get things to go viral. We give people something to talk about. So if you were to go to our website is at gong.io. That's gong.io. If you go there, you might meet Bruno, the friendly bulldog. He's also in the chat bot on the bottom right. And this changes daily, but if you go there a few days ago, you would see that he woofs at you and asks you, who's a good boy? Now, that's how he starts conversations. And he's also wearing a mask, by the way, and he also practices social distancing. But this is kind of an atypical chatbot for a B2B software website. You don't see this very often. And what you see here are actual people from other companies who completely unsolicited went to our website, saw this really cool chatbot, took a screenshot, and posted it on LinkedIn or on Twitter. And we see this getting done with the emails and other things that we do. Another great example was earlier this year, I think it was in January, all companies had to email their subscribers about changes in privacy policy because there was some regulatory change that required it. Now, most companies treated this as an afterthought and just sent a boring emails from the lawyers, right? About these are the changes in our privacy policy. Well, our team, being Team Gong, our brief was don't make this boring. So we ended up sending a really cool short email. There was a Britney Spears gif in there. It was completely hyped and excited. That email got a 39.5% open rate. I'm going to say that again, 39.5% open rate. People were so excited about our privacy policy change email that they took screenshots and posted it on LinkedIn and Twitter that day. That's how I learned about the excitement, when I was suddenly being tagged on all the different social networks I'm a member of, and people were posting screenshots of this privacy policy email update. Well, if people are not posting screenshots of the emails you're sending, you might want to think about how you make them more exciting. And here are really simple examples. You can do this by having a different cool chatbot or email, or just taking things that most companies treat as ordinary and boring and hype them up. Just make them interesting. Being not boring is not that hard. And I promise to show you where the followers on LinkedIn actually come from. So as you can see, they're more organic than my vegetable garden. And what we mean by that is, if you look at the blue line, this shows you our LinkedIn followers added each month to our LinkedIn page that come from organic sources. What that means is that if you're scrolling LinkedIn and one of your friends likes a post from Gong, you might see Sasha liked this post from Gong, and then you look at it, and if it looks interesting to you, you can hit the button that says follow Gong. This is how 99% of our followers find us, organically, because they read something interesting on our corporate page and decided to follow us. A tiny, tiny percentage of our followers come from paid advertising. That's really a negligible number of followers to our account. And this is exactly how you want to bring followers. You don't want to pay people to come and read your stuff, because that's an insincere form of following. They're not really fans of your content. They're probably not going to convert on it later. So creating content that organically lures people in, that they want to follow you, that they want to keep reading what you're up to, this is the way to do it in the healthiest way. And finally, I will leave you with this last thought. Always be testing. We do this on our social media posts. We do this on our emails. We do this on our website CTAs. We're obsessed about treating every post and every campaign as a learning opportunity. We never know what we're going to find. That video game screenshot, that could have tanked, but we'd never know if we didn't try it. That where's Bruno Waldo style image, that could have bombed, but we'd never know if we didn't try it. And here's a secret. A lot of things that we try don't work that well. Algorithms on social media change all the time. 6 months ago, video was performing really, really well on LinkedIn. In the last 3 months, it's been text that's performing a lot better than images and video. But we only know that because we test different types of posts every week. We look at the results using an analytics tool at the end of every week to see what's working, what's not working, and then we adapt next week's tests to examine our theories on what's working and not working right now. So if you're just posting blindly without testing things and then without looking at the results, you're wasting all that good ammunition, and you never know if you're going to hit the target. So with that, I will say thank you for your time today. Make sure you follow Gong on LinkedIn. See, this is how I get organic followers. So if you like this content, there's lots more of it on Gong's profile on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.